Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Finger Guns Podcast with Tony, Dave, and James. I am my mic is on top of my head, Jimmy, and I'm here with...
Big T, Tony B.
Yes, and...
Dave, if you're nasty.
Oh, still nasty. I await the change. Is this like seasonal?
I think it'll be seasonal.
Change it by season?
It might be seasonal right now.
All right, Tony, do you want to get on that? I change mine every single episode.
I'm sticking with Big T.
So we got a seasonal, a consistent always.
And always changing?
Chaotic.
Dude, there's camera assistants that have me in their phone as Big T.
That's fair, and as you should be. I don't understand why you wouldn't be.
Yeah. I have you in my phone as T Dog.
That's an OG right there.
I have you in my phone as Tony B with a rooster emoji.
Yeah, that's accurate too.
That's fair.
And I have Dave Baldwin in there as Dave Baldwin with a bikini emoji
because he's nasty.
Bikini. I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Your cousin James in my phone.
Oh well, you do have to differentiate.
It's true. It's true.
I'm pretty sure I have you in as cousin James.
It's fine.
I'm pretty sure my bank app has you in as cousin James too.
Yeah, I get it. I have friend James in my phone as friend James. There isn't another James I need to differentiate against, and yet he's friend James. There's nothing else.
I love it.
How's everyone doing?
Good. Yeah, I'm a lot more awake than I've been for sure. That's for sure.
Good.
Ready to fucking go.
Yeah. Provide me with my caffeine hit for the evening, so I'll be ready.
Even though it's diet.
It's got caffeine.
It's got a lot of aspartame in there.
It's fine. The cancer will get me later.
I was about to say aspartame will kill you.
It'll get me later.
That'll straight up kill you.
What do I have to worry about what happens when I'm 55 at this point? I outlive Jesus. I'm good to go.
Real high bar, dude.
You know what? I had to explain to Quentin how Jesus died the other day.
Yeah.
He's like, "Daddy, I really miss Aunt Frances." I was like, "Yeah,
sure,
yeah, me too.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah,
and Jesus. Yeah, me too. When did Jesus die? Well, he was young, and people didn't like him. He died on the cross, right? Yep, that's what happened. Yeah. And then what happened? Like, can we go see him? Because we went to the mausoleum the other day. He was just like, "Can we go see him?" I was like, "Well, he's not here. Where is he?" I was like, "Well, he went in the tomb, and then they put the stone on the tomb. Did they write on the tomb to know he was there? Just the stone? Like, did they write a marker?
Oh boy,
or crayon?" I was like, not quite. And then I was just like,
"Well, a fly on the wall during this conversation."
I'm like, "Well, 3 days later, they went to go see, and he wasn't there. Where did he go? He came back and he rose up.
Yeah, zombie Jesus.
And he's just like, is that what happens when you die? I was like, not quite. And
only to him.
And he's
only
like,
to him.
He's like, but Jesus did. I was like, yeah, that was something.
Again, only to him.
And then he's like, there was like a Jesus statue, and he's like, "Is that Jesus?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "When did he get a beard?" I was like, "He's always had a beard." Quentin.
Yeah.
I was like, "He's not always white, though."
The better question is, when did he become white?
I'm like, usually he's not white.
Recently,
and then it just kept going on and on and on.
Oh boy!
And he's like, "Will I get to see Jesus again?" I was like, "Maybe." I saw Jesus when I was a baby. I was like, "You did you?"
Oh, great! That's the haunted story I want to hear.
Let's go further into this.
You know what,
Quinny? Can you tell me about your meeting with Jesus?
Take this all back. He can see Jesus when Jim Caviezel replays him in Passion of the Christ 2. Crucify this.
There you go.
You can take him to the whole thing. I watched Passion of the Christ when I was far too young. It's time for Quinny to understand.
I had to sneak into that movie.
My dad took me to that movie. He made a mistake.
I asked our uncle to take me.
I was interning for a newspaper, and they needed a review of it. And I was like, "Well, I'm not old enough to sneak in. I don't give a fuck."
Was that the one you bought tickets for Welcome to Boostport?
Yeah,
there you go. Sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Which was the last film that Gene Hackman did. So my money went to Gene Hackman, and I'm good with it.
That's
and
fine.
Ray Romano.
That's fine.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay, Tony?
He was in the movie.
I
Technically, the money did go to him too.
Who knows what the residual split was? Oh no,
my residuals.
You wrote on the ticket. Direct all of this to Gene Hackman.
Direct this to Mr. Hackman, please.
Perfect.
None to Mr. Romano.
Perfect. All right, let's get down to more movies here. So, normal one. We're gonna do a best, a man, a worst today.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
sir.
love this. I do appreciate us coming back to form, back to basics, back to what's good and holy in the world.
I have a little bit of a sniffle. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I don't know what happened to Tony. Tony looks like he just had an aneurysm.
Yeah.
You good, bud?
You okay? Oh no, he's not.
And we're back.
And we're back, and Tony's recovered. It's you don't even notice. It just kind of happened.
It's just magic, movie magic.
Movie magic.
There's just like a slight bit of dead air there.
This will make absolutely no sense to you listening because there's a whole chunk that was cut out, and it will seem like it was only like half a second, and yet we're back. You'll never know. Who wants to kick us off? Oh my God, we're not there yet. Hold it.
Fine.
Hold your spooks.
Fine.
Dave, kick us off.
Yeah.
Well, since we were just talking about Mr. Hackman, may he rest in peace, I've been on a bit of a Gene Hackman kick.
Okay.
So I watched Enemy of the State.
Yep, good.
Which was wacky.
Sure.
It's also ridiculously character actor city.
Sure.
I watched The Birdcage.
Oh,
Banger.
blind spot of mine.
It's a banger.
Yeah.
The son is a dick.
I think I might
Such
wait
a
till,
dick.
Such a dick.
I might wait till next year because I think it'll be like 30 years.
It'll be
next
30 years next year. Yeah, but literally the anniversary of its theatrical release was like the other day, and I just happened to watch it.
Fair enough.
Because Hank Azaria was tweeting about it. I was like, I just watched it.
Amazing.
Anyways, yeah, that movie's good.
Yeah.
Or actually, it's great. And it's hasn't aged too badly.
Nice.
Minus the son being, I assume in the
piece of shit.
I assume in the 90s it would have been a little more like, yeah, okay, like
Sure.
the son's not that. The son's kind of a jerk, but now he's just straight up.
He's
dick.
just a straight up dick. Yeah.
Just straight up dick. But the movie I want to talk about is an absolute banger, and it was a blind spot for me that I've always wanted to see, and I never have seen it. It is Tony Scott's Crimson Tide, which is 30 years old this year.
Nice. I thought it was going to be Welcome to Mooseport.
It was not. It was
Which
not.
I think also now that I know is also a blind spot you have.
I have seen Welcome to Mooseport actually. I don't
was gonna
remember
say,
anything.
You owned the DVD at
I
some
did
point.
have
in
it.
our
I
lives.
did have the DVD at one point.
no.
Yes, I traded that one.
He had to review it.
Oh, okay.
I traded that one. That one's
good.
gone.
As you do.
But yes, Crimson Tide from 1995 has Denzel as the headliner.
Yeah.
Yep.
And fucking Gene Hackman.
Nice.
And then Viggo Mortensen is in it.
Right.
Fabrizio from Titanic is in it.
Fabrizio.
Jackie O'Priel from Sopranos. Jackie Jr.
Jackie Jr.
Jackie Jr.
He's in Enemy of the State too.
Oh, fuck. I saw Ryan, because I watched this movie too. Ryan Philippe has a cameo in it.
Nice.
Steve Zahn.
Nice.
Dave, who am I missing? There's more.
I'm getting them all. I already said Vigo, right?
Yeah, you said Vigo.
Matt Craven, who's in a bunch of shit.
Yep.
Fucking, he just mentioned The Sopranos. James Gandolfini.
James Gandolfini. Yeah.
Rocky Carroll from NCIS.
Yep.
Fuck. There's Danny Nucci, who we already mentioned. Steve Zahn. RJ Knoll, whoever the fuck that is. Shout out to RJ Knoll. It's just like it's literally one of those movies where it's just like 90s that guy.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that you'll recognize instantly.
Like it's kind of ridiculous. Like this fucking guy, his name's Daniel von Bargen. Like you recognize this fucker.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. It's a real who's who of faces.
It's
right? And they just pop up, and then because it's all on the submarine for most of the movie, and it's just like, how many fucking people are on this submarine?
Yeah, of course.
There's so many people on this fucking submarine, and Jason Robards is in it as well. It's just like, anyways, this one also felt a little timely because it's about a rogue Russian agent. Like something's going on in Russia. Russia's not right.
Well, when is it?
So a rogue Russian agent, like is kind of like defecting, and like he is holding the country hostage, and he's going to start World War III.
Of course.
So they send in the subs to go to kind of like be on the coast type thing.
Yeah.
To shoot to like if something happens, so that they're ready to go.
Yeah.
And so they're on the sub. I would say the movie's like 2 hours, and they're on the sub for about an hour and a half.
Jesus, hell yeah!
And then what's it called? They get a notice, like an emergency notice to go to DEFCON 1 or whatever. I think they're at like DEFCON. They started DEFCON 5 at DEFCON 4, and they're like all the way to DEFCON 1.
Yeah.
They're like, arm the nukes. It's going to take the Russians 60 minutes to arm theirs. Get our shit together.
Jesus,
don't hit and then the next
intense shit.
And then they get in a fight with a Russian sub, and it kind of like knocks out their communications.
Yeah.
And like as it had knocked out the communications, they got the order to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, but Denzel's like, well, it's not even a full message. It just says like get go type thing.
Exactly.
But like they're like they can't confirm it or anything.
Right.
And they're like, well, we got to do it. And like, that's what they said to do. And he's like, well, we can't confirm it, guys. If we do this, we're starting World War III.
Yeah.
It's real Sophie's choice.
Real
Sophie's choice.
So that's the movie. That's the movie, is them trying to decide whether they should do it or not.
Right.
And it's fucking crazy.
I mean, I feel like it's
intense.
Like most submarine movies.
It's fucking intense because they're like 60 minutes till the Russians do it, and there's only 60 minutes of the movie to go.
So it's like real time.
It's real. The second half of the movie is real time.
Damn.
And it's so many Dutch angles, James. You would love all the Dutch angles.
Yes. Give them to me.
Because the fucking sub is all over the place, and just Gene Hackman is fucking amazing. Denzel is just like masterclass. Denzel, Gene Hackman, holy shit. And it's fucking Tony Scott with a score by Hans Zimmer. It's like just so top shelf. It has no right to be as fucking thrilling and as fucking good as this movie, and as it is, or as red as it is. It's so red. It's so red.
They're in the sub. The red light is all you got.
I think a lot of it is credit to like Tony Scott, because like Tony Scott has he leave that man to do anything and he'll make it exciting. Yeah. So like literally like an existential crisis where it's just like all like psychological, and it's like Tony Scott is just shooting the shit out of it.
Look, Tony Scott
so many dudes. There's so many dudes.
Planes, trains, cars, submarines, doesn't matter. You throw it at Tony Scott, he's going to make it fucking exciting.
Exactly.
It's wonderful. I waited way too long to see this movie, and I loved the hell out of it.
Hell yeah.
And it's like it's another dude's rock movie.
Dude's rock.
It's an ultimate 90s dad movie for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure my dad has seen it many times.
But you know what?
My dad could probably quote the damn thing.
You know what? This 2025 dad fucking loved it.
Yeah, you're becoming a proper dad. We might have to make a new segment. Dave watches a dad movie.
Dad
from the past,
Dave.
wherever, like whatever we've considered, like, oh, this is such a dad movie. We got to throw it past Dave and see if it holds muster.
Oh my god, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Also, since I already mentioned I'm also on a Tony Scott kick. I watched The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans.
Nice. Banger.
Which is a banger.
Continuing
fire.
our trend of we lost the wrong Scott.
We certainly did.
Yeah.
We certainly did.
Yeah.
Ridley, if you're out there, we will debate you if you would like to come on the podcast, Sir Ridley.
To talk about his deceased brother?
Whether the right Ridley or the right Scott died.
That is some bleak messaging right there, my dude. Bleak. That is bleak.
Oh man!
Give us the facts. Why do you think you deserve to stay?
Oh man!
You hear that sound, James? That's all the Ridley Scott fans turning us off.
Oh man!
What, one?
Well, yeah, that's fine. Especially recent output. Come on, we're not talking to a fan from the '80s. Anyway,
they can have their father's son in House of Gucci.
Well, yeah, I mean, still father son in House of Gucci.
I thought The Last Duel was like amazing.
The Last Duel
James
is
saw it. He
legitimately
liked
quite
it.
good.
Okay, so that's 2021.
I think that's
close.
I think that's the problem. Is literally all I keep seeing are the shitty ones.
Yeah,
There you go. Watch the fucking good
haven't
ones.
seen the good
while you're watching Scott, throw on The Last Duel, close that circle at least, and then come back and tell me if it's just me that thought The Last Duel was good. I think most people did think The
I
Last Duel was
remember
pretty
people
good.
enjoying it. Yes,
It's
got a good
riveting.
cast. I
It's
do
got
like
a very
the
good
cast.
cast, and like the whole end is a fight scene. It's excellent.
Isn't it written by Ben and Matt?
Yeah.
Why the fuck have I not watched this?
I don't
Right?
know.
Right.
Whatever. It's not as egregious a blind spot as fucking Crimson Tide.
No, for sure. For sure.
Also, R-rated movie. Watching it on Disney Plus. Never going to go old.
Oh, yeah.
Never.
It's never going to get
It's
old.
such a gem, a treat, if you will. Tony.
You gonna go for me?
Yeah, buddy.
All right. So, I have a film. A big shout out to Tubi. Tubi is Tubi is slowly becoming my favorite streaming service at 2 a.m. I have a movie from the 80s. It's a Japanese anime, which is new for me. It's called Wicked City.
Oh, okay. Honestly, when you said a Japanese movie from the anime movie from the 80s, I was just like, Akira? Like, I don't...
Same animation style as Akira.
Yeah.
Could we just, like, if it's an anime, it's probably Japanese, Tony.
I disagree, but I'll let you have it.
I think by definition.
Especially if it's
Japan just has anime. That's it.
Yeah.
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 So even
actually
if it's
if
from
he's
China, it's not. It's
if we're talking 80s, it's likely, and it's an
don't know.
anime from the
That's a
80s,
tough
likely
one.
it's Japanese.
anyways. I'm not going to debate this.
Can we also rewind to your new slogan for Tubi? Like, we definitely need to get that. We should get that like immortalized on the Tubi website.
Honestly, to be perfectly honest with you, when I lie awake and I can't sleep and I'm trying to find a movie, for some godly ass reason, I always manage to find something on Tubi.
What a business statement for Tubi. Right? When you can't sleep, it's 2:30 in the morning. Try Tubi. Guaranteed to either kick you into high gear or put you right back to sleep.
Right. Anyways, this movie, simple premise. You could probably like cut it out of any other fantasy movie and put it in here.
Sure.
So there's a peace treaty between Earth and the Dark World. And in the Dark World, it's a bunch of demons. And the peace treaty is coming up on renewal, let's say.
Sure.
And tensions are high.
Sure. Contract negotiations.
Contract negotiations, and a cop from Earth and a cop from the Dark World are put together to protect a diplomat who is in charge of negotiations of this peace treaty. And the Dark World doesn't. The Dark World wants blood, and the Dark World wants to take over.
Shocking,
right? And then hilarity ensues.
What are the police officers like? Do they fight crime in the Dark World? Like, I don't understand why they would have police.
Demons, dude.
I don't know why they would have police officers in the Dark World.
And the demons are like shape-shifting, like just like monsters, basically. So I'm going to paint you a picture for the beginning. This is how it opens.
All right.
Okay. So the cop meets a woman in the bar. They head it off.
Sure.
Right. They go back to I want to say they go back to his place, or they go back to a room. They have lots of sex. And this movie, also, I need to preface that this movie is super horny. Super horny.
Sure.
So there's this egregious sex scene in the beginning.
Literally. Anime in the 80s, Tony.
Yeah.
Again,
And it's a film noir with two cops.
I did preference Japanese anime from the 80s, which is new for
Horny
me.
as hell.
So new for me.
Carry on.
Anyways, so they have sex and everything. The guy ends up busting a nut, and then as one does, and then all of a sudden, does it explode on the camera? Is it everywhere? No explosions. You don't even see it. You just hear it because it's close up on the girl. So then the girl starts like cuddling him, and then all of a sudden her grip gets a little bit tighter, and then all of a sudden she turns into this like spider praying mantis looking thing with like T1000 arms, where it's just like just knife hands, just knife hands. But like she puts her knife hands, so her arms are knives, her legs are knives, and she puts them into him, and he's about to like die. He's feeling it, and then all of a sudden she like throws him to the wall. And then when he looks back, her vagina has now turned into this like monster thing with teeth. And it's like staring back at him, and all this foam's coming down, and then all hell breaks loose.
God, I love Japan.
Right.
This is something you want to watch at 2:30 in the morning.
This is what I watched at 2:30 in the morning. And
no wonder he's finished it. That would have woken me, right?
Yeah. Spoiler alert, she comes back later on in the movie and shoots spider webs through that vagina monster looking thing. This movie is certifiably unhinged.
I love this.
I'm kind of upset that he orgasmed before getting before the knife hands. That should have been as he was orgasming was the knife hands.
Well, she wanted to let him finish.
Did she use the semen as like webbing?
Maybe that's what. Maybe the foam coming down.
That's it. That's it.
Oh no.
But honestly, like the movie's a huge cliche. You could probably go beat for beat what's going to happen, but it's just so exciting. It's so like.
I need to stop you again, Tony. I'm sorry that I keep stopping you. Yeah. You said beat for beat, you would know what happens.
I didn't know this would happen.
My brother in Christ, I feel like you could have just said
plot points.
Sure.
I feel like you could have said they have sex and something weird happens, and I don't think. I don't think I could have rolled the dice. I could have rolled the dice 100 times to give you 100 guesses, and knife hands and foaming semen vagina thing, monster thing, is not going to be one of my answers.
I haven't even told you what happens in the middle.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. You already sold me. I'm gonna I already have it queued up on Tubi right now.
So the only downfall is Tubi has it in dubbed. It doesn't have it in its original Japanese. But you know what? The dub just made it like more I feel like the dub made it more interesting, and it made it more comical, because like it was just a blast to watch. Because like you couldn't tell what was gonna, like you could tell where it was going, but like the shit that they throw at you is just so unbelievable. And like this movie's actually been on my watch list for a while. Slash Film brought out a like an anime starter pack, basically. Sure. Like
that's in the starter pack.
That's in the starter pack. So like you got like you got like Perfect Blue, you got Paprika, Millennium Actress, like big anime movies from back then. Akira was on there too, and this was on there.
Shell, Ninja Scroll,
Ninja Scroll,
something Gundam. I don't know.
Yeah, or Evangelion was on there too.
Yeah.
See, all of these make sense,
right?
This random fucking knife hand thing not making sense.
I was honestly, I was shocked when I saw it. When I saw it on there, I was going to watch another Sonny Chiba movie, but I was like, you know what, man, it's here. It's like I'm going to take it as a sign, and I'm going to watch it. And I was not disappointed.
No kidding.
It was a treat.
That's cuckoo bananas.
Yeah, it was cuckoo bananas. And yes, I fell asleep halfway through, and then I woke up at 6:45 to do my workout, and I finished it during my workout.
Hell of a movie to do a workout to.
Right? Because it goes, buddy, that beginning was just the tip of the iceberg, boys.
Nuts.
The tip of the fucking iceberg.
That's nuts.
But yeah, definitely watch it. Wicked City. It's pretty fucking wicked.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's in the title. I guess you knew what you were getting into. It's right there.
So.
Absolutely.
I guess so. Can you enlighten us with something that could possibly palate cleanse or top that?
No, not top that. But what I can do is blend the two of these together thematically. So we have a blind spot.
All right.
And something Japanese related.
Okay.
And I fixed a blind spot of mine that I've had for ages. And my best is going to go to The Karate Kid.
Ooh.
Which I have never seen. Ever. I don't know how. Don't ask.
You know who isn't the best around?
It's not me.
It's not you.
It's not me. But it is now, because I've seen it.
Are you watching all of them so you can watch Cobra Kai?
Maybe.
I really need to finish Cobra Kai.
Yeah, apparently it's great.
It's cuckoo bananas.
I've heard.
I got halfway through. So, I love it.
Anyway, original Karate Kid.
All right.
Excellent. I don't even need to describe it. I feel like it's me who hasn't seen it, and everybody else knows exactly what we're fucking talking about. But things that surprised me in it, the fact that the tournament doesn't happen until the last 20 minutes of the movie. That's a choice.
Like Tony taking half of his shirt off. That's
I'm getting kind of hot, guys. I'm sorry.
One nipple out is not on my bingo card tonight, but here we are.
This is how I used to mow the lawn, just like half the shirt off. There you go.
Fuck,
I don't know.
I just commit to it, dude.
Yeah. No.
Anyway,
2000s were a hell of a time.
No kidding.
Did you wear the backwards?
I sure
visor?
fucking did. No, I actually like turned it upside down and put it on my head. Yeah, I was one of those people.
Of course you did.
I think I did it once.
Yeah.
Like such a fucking loser. And it was a Molson Canadian visor.
I was just about to say it was the Molson Canadian one that Dad got in the beer.
Naturally.
Karate Kid.
Bold choice to have the entire tournament take place in the last 20 minutes of the film. Like, we got up to a point and I was like, how is there... What the... How much time has passed in this movie? When the fuck is this tournament? And I looked, I'm like, 20 minutes left. They haven't even entered the tournament yet. I'm like, I don't understand. This is The Karate Kid, and I spent so much time not in this tournament. This tournament lasts 5 minutes and ends on a freeze frame.
And it's amazing
it's a fucking
freeze
perfect
frame.
freeze
Epic.
frame.
It's so good.
So good.
It's incredible. That whole fight tournament goes by so quickly. It's so incredibly 80s. It's not even controllable how over the top it is.
So previous to now, if I just randomly just yelled out, sweep the leg, you wouldn't know what I was saying?
So I knew of things in Karate Kid.
Put him in a body bag.
You're a cream puff, Johnny. Where the fuck did that come from?
Can we go back to put him in a body bag?
Oh yeah,
this is teenagers.
Yeah. Take him out of the tournament and literally just destroy this child's leg. I don't know. Can we also just talk about the fact that Karate Kid's whole premise is a man that owns a dojo and another Japanese man who's standing up for this small child debating.
Child, fucking.
I'm getting to that.
Okay, fine.
Small child who's younger than Johnny. Let's be serious here.
I know, but he would like fucking.
I know. In real life, we'll get there. Hang on.
He's got a point, Dave. Let him come full circle.
Okay.
That we are having this dojo. These two
competing
dojos decide when it's okay for them to continue to bully a child. What?
Doesn't Mr. Miyagi like beat the shit out of Johnny and the guys?
Yeah.
He like does he does like a backflip over the fence, and you're like,
He climbs up. He's perched on the corner of the fence, and then just jumps down to knock Daniel out of the way, and then beats the shit out of the rest of them.
You know what? I would buy
breaks a kid's arm. He breaks a kid's arm.
Dude, he got an Oscar nom for it. Didn't he?
Of course he did. Of course he did.
Best supporting actor, I should say. Sorry.
Of course he did.
I bet you he did that stunt. Pat Morita most certainly did that stunt.
Certainly. So, to your point, Daniel's son, Ralph Macchio, looks like a child. He's the youngest looking 24-year-old I've ever seen in my life. I think he was actually 21, but whatever.
I know. I think he might have actually been 24.
He might have been 23, somewhere like that. He was the eldest of them.
Yeah.
Johnny looked like he was in his 30s already, and he was the youngest of them. And Elizabeth Shue just looked hot as fuck because it's Elizabeth Shue.
This is fair.
She did look beautiful in the 80s.
Yeah. So I was just like, because I saw Elizabeth Shue, I'm like, hang on, how old are these children supposed to be? We're like, like 16. And then I looked it up. I'm like, Ralph Macchio was like 24. What the hell?
Ralph Macchio's already putting in his 401k.
Yeah, he's got a retirement plan. Like, he's ready to have children now.
You know what's funny is Cobra Kai, like, Johnny still looks older than Ralph Macchio.
Yeah, he does. God. He literally does.
He still looks
age
older.
Beautifully. Yeah. Anyway, I had a great time watching The Karate Kid, and I feel like I'm corrected a blind spot.
You most certainly did.
Definitely.
I fucking love The Karate Kid.
Yeah. I wouldn't go so far as to say love. I think it's...
I don't care.
I unabashedly
Kid.
love that movie.
Yeah.
I have... what's his name? Joe Esposito?
Joe Esposito.
Yeah. I have him come on my Spotify shuffle all the fucking time, and it's the greatest.
Sure.
I still want a Cobra Kai like shirt or like a
Cobra Kai never dies.
Cobra Kai never dies.
Legit.
Like I don't need a Miyagi-Do jersey. I need a
Cobra Kai.
No, what you
Cobra
need is
fucking
a
Kai.
Miyagi bonsai tree.
Oh yeah.
That we need.
You just wait. You just wait till you get to Karate Kid 3, buddy. Oh boy.
For sure.
Is that the one with Chosen, or is Chosen in
no, that's
2?
two.
That's two.
Chosen's
You just
in
let's go.
No, because I'm thinking of Cobra Kai, so I'm trying to figure out where all these friggin' characters come from because I've only seen the first
We're
one.
gonna come back. We're
Let's
gonna come
go.
back.
Dave, give me a meh.
So this one is kind of meh, yeah, I would go with meh. It's still thematic. I guess we're really going thematic tonight, and we're really playing off of each other because this film also stars Elizabeth Shue.
Ooh, Elizabeth Shue.
And it is
Let's see if we can keep this going.
it is Back to the Future Part 2.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes, which is a high meh, I would say, because it's not the greatest. It's very elaborate.
It is.
I haven't seen it in a long time. It is very feels oddly contemporary with how things go
For
down
sure.
in that movie.
For sure.
But like, what I know about time machines and time travel
Right.
and the butterfly effect and all that, I think it doesn't really play into this movie very
No.
much because it just.
Because it's the future.
I know, but then they go to the past and it still
This is
doesn't
true.
quite.
This is true. It doesn't quite, yeah.
Did I see on Instagram that you tried to explain time travel to Quinny?
I tried to explain the timeline to Quinny. Yes,
Yeah.
he didn't understand what was happening. Well, we saw the first one. He understood enough about the first one, and he kept asking. He's like, "Why are there so many ducks? Why are they in the past? Why are they in the future? What is this? What's happening here, Dad? Where are they? They're in 1985, but I thought they were in 2015. No, they're in 1985 now. They're in 1955
Did you
now.
have to explain that even when they travel to the future, it's technically our past?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
It went around in certain, like if you saw the diagram, I kept going back and forth, and then I'm like, and then Doc is in the Old West at 1888. He's like, what?
Yeah.
And then there's like a whole full blown Western Union commercial at the end of the movie.
Oh, yeah, that's
which
weird.
is fucking weird.
So
that they're like,
weird.
we've had it for 70 years.
Yeah.
We're still gonna deliver it. Fuck
The
off.
product placement in that movie is nutso levels.
I wish I got that Pepsi Clear or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck the Pepsi is.
Not the Black & Decker food rehydrator.
No, I don't need that. I don't need that. That's what I'm saying.
It's
Though
been a long
very.
time since I've seen it.
I think I've only seen it once.
I've seen
We
it at
watched-
least twice.
You saw it with
Maybe
you
three
saw it with
times.
me.
We watched all three of them in
Yeah.
the same day, the
Yeah.
first time, and I've seen the first one multiple times since.
Makes
But
sense.
I don't think I've watched the second one multiple times since. So I was sitting there and I was like, "Yeah, I remember a lot of this." And then there's parts where I was like, "I don't remember this." And then there were a lot of guns, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Because you remember a lot of the beginning. Like, that's at least for me. Like, I remember a lot about the beginning when he first gets to 2015 with, like, the hoverboard, the Jaws 3D, Jaws 6,
Yeah.
or whatever
Yeah,
the fuck it
yeah.
is by then.
Jaws 19.
Jaws 19, sorry, thank you. And, like, yeah, the hoverboard, the sneakers, the
sneakers are cool as
The sneakers
fuck.
are cool as shit.
I know they made them.
I know. All like the little, like the food rehydrator, the Pepsi Clear. Like, you remember all these.
The jacket that like doesn't fit, but then it suddenly fits.
He leaves the sports book behind, right?
He throws it out. Yeah.
He throws it out, and Biff gets
Biff
it.
gets
And that's
it.
why. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the scene I remember.
Biff gets it.
Biff finding it in the back of the
So
back seat
you
of the
remember
car.
all this, but the back
Biff gets
is
so
different.
So basically, he gets the sport. He has to fix whatever happens in the future. He fixes it. Biff gets the book. He goes back in the past to give it to young Biff.
Yeah.
And then he comes back,
And
then
then
he drops the
has
car.
like a hotel thing, right?
Yeah, but this is what I'm getting at is that Biff goes back to the past to give him the book.
Yeah.
And then he somehow comes back and nothing has changed yet.
Huh.
And then they get in the car and they go back to 85 and everything's gone to hell and they don't notice it at first. And then eventually he's like, I don't remember these bars on these windows.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, if it's so instantaneous that you fix the future, like
Yeah.
in the moment, why is the future not changing now that Biff
Yeah.
Yeah, like while you're still in
while
it,
you're still
yeah.
there? Like you
Yeah.
need, like the rules keep changing.
Yeah.
And then for an 80s movie, it's kind of cool that they kind of re-swayed like the first one and kind of replay certain
Sure.
moments from the first ones from like a different angle. and they have like the multiple Michael J. Foxes on the screen.
Yeah.
Like I think that's cool as shit for the 80s, and it doesn't look awful. Like now that's in fucking 4K HDR plus.
Yeah.
It some of the graphics. They don't look that great.
They're doing their best.
They're doing their best, but other parts look amazing.
Yeah.
Like when he's on the hoverboard, it looks cool as shit.
Yeah.
All of this to say, it doesn't have the same charm as the first one, but it's still pretty entertaining and thrilling. And there were still moments where Quentin was just like covering his mouth because he was so like, he's like, oh my God, what's going to happen to Marty? What's going to happen? Like he was, it wasn't that he was scared. It was more that he was like he was anxious.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was hitting all the right beats for this 4-year-old who doesn't understand what time travel is.
Yeah. Cool.
So but it's very elaborate and it's worth watching still. It's just, it's not the first one.
Yeah, no, of course not.
It's not the first one, but they all age so much better than they did in the movie.
Yeah.
They aged terribly in the movie, but in real life, they all aged
bad.
so bad. They all aged so wonderfully, but in the movie when they aged,
it's the best guess, but it was a worst possible outcome guess of what they might look like.
I'm very eager to hear Quinny's thoughts on the third one.
apparently he watched part of it already, but he stopped because he wanted to watch it with me.
Oh, well, cute. Lovely.
But before you go, I just want to put this out into the universe. Doc, Marty, you fucked up somewhere along the line, somewhere along the timeline. You have fucked up royally, and you need to fix it.
Oh, I see.
Fix it. Whatever you do, fix it. I hope you hear my plea. Fix it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Warranted.
That's fair.
Warranted.
Yeah.
Tony, what do you got, buddy?
So I have a new film that came out around Valentine's Day. Came out on Apple Plus, Apple TV,
Apple TV Plus.
Apple TV Plus.
Sure.
It stars Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh,
it is a film called The Gorge.
The Gorge.
The simplest of premise, and they somehow.
So hang on.
Yep.
Is it about an actual gorge, like a physical feature, or is it the gorge as in one of them is gorgeous?
They're both fucking gorgeous.
I think it's a double entendre. Because they are gorgeous. Anya Taylor-Joy is so fabulous in this movie, and Miles Teller, he's
Miles Teller.
He's a nice slice of pie for sure.
He's the whole pie. Tony.
But is there a physical gorge involved?
There is a gorge involved.
Oh, okay, great.
Simplest of premise that somehow they make convoluted, and just the more you get into the mystery, the more it just, you know what? I was good when it was just a mystery.
Sure.
Anyways, long story short, this film is about two overwatchers, one on one side of the gorge, the other on the other side of the gorge. They are there to make sure whatever's in the gorge stays in the gorge and not outside.
Right.
They are not to know what is in the gorge, and they are not to speak to each other. Only Anya Taylor-Joy's character gets drunk one night and celebrating her birthday, and she decides to communicate with Miles Teller. And then a romance sparks, and then Miles Teller ends up in the gorge, and
now he's the thing in the gorge.
You see where I'm going with this?
Sure.
And Sigourney Weaver's in it.
Sigourney Weaver's in it because, like, why not?
Man, they just keep plucking her for like weird cameos in honestly dystopian sci-fi movies.
This movie, the best way to describe it, it's your typical streaming action movie.
Yeah,
there's nothing more to it.
That's why it's on Apple TV Plus.
It's on Apple TV. It was enjoyable. I thought it was amusing. Like I said, the deeper you get into the plot, the deeper it just doesn't make any sense, and it's just like, whatever.
Sure.
Like, why? But okay.
Sure. Yeah.
The effects weren't actually as bad as I thought it was.
Oh,
good. It's kind of like a romance action creature feature kind of thing.
Right. Sure.
I really like the special. I'm not going to ruin anything just in case people watch it. It's directed by Scott Derrickson. Because apparently he had time to do this before he did Black Phone 2.
Sure. Who doesn't have time?
Who doesn't have time, right?
No movie we don't need.
Black Phone 2?
Black Phone 2. They said enough with the first one.
They did. I'm content with Black Phone. I didn't leave Black Phone going, you know what I need? A follow-up.
Yeah. This might get a follow-up, but who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're in the mood for just a cheesy action movie, throw it on. It's better than whatever the fuck the Russos are doing for Netflix. I will say that right now.
Well, we're going to find out this week, buddy.
Yeah. Well, it opened at 10% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I can already assume what's going to happen there.
A race to the bottom.
Right? But yeah, this film it's got some good moments. The chemistry between Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller is absolutely like electric.
Nice.
They light up the screen, not like Glenn Powell and that other actress in Hitman. That one is literally like you light a match and it's just fire.
I thought you were going to say Glenn Powell in Twisters or Glenn Powell in anything he
Glenn
does.
Powell
you keep
in
his
anything.
name out of your mouth,
buddy. I'm just comparing. I'm just setting expectation.
Sure.
But
I wasn't
they did have
expecting it to be the same kind of chemistry.
They did have great chemistry, and they did work out well together.
Nice.
And yeah, it's just you know what you're getting involved in, and it doesn't try to do anything more than that.
Adria Arjona.
Yes.
Or Ariona.
There you go.
Nice.
But yeah, that is the Gorge out now on Apple TV Plus.
Nice. The only thematic string I can continue. So you didn't pull off anything from.
No,
Dave,
I
so
didn't.
that
I
was
just
the
went
problem.
off track.
The only thematic string I can pull from that is I watched this on a streaming service. Actually, you know what? To be honest, I watched it on Crave, which I feel like is my underutilized streaming service. So that was kind of nice, I guess.
And Canadian content. Good for you.
Yes, and we're going to talk about the Karate Kid Part 2 in my May section as we continue trailing down this path.
I like Karate Kid too.
Yeah, Karate Kid Part 2, where there's no karate.
He goes to Japan in that one, doesn't he?
He sure does.
When they're breaking the ice?
Sure.
Is that the...
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much going on. There's so many hand gestures.
Just wait until you get to Cobra Kai and they redo that.
So, and Tony, to your point from earlier, yes, this is the one with Chosen.
This is the one with Chosen. Okay.
So anyway, so we spend the first 15 minutes of the film rehashing all of the events of Karate Kid 1 and then taking place immediately following the tournament in Karate Kid 1 so that we can see Miyagi beat up Kreese's ass.
I was going to ask
because he's a piece of shit.
Well, yeah, Kreese.
Fuck
I was going to
Kreese.
say, did Mr. Miyagi beat up more children?
No. He appropriately beat up an adult man.
Oh, right.
Who needed a lesson taught to him.
Fantastic.
And shortly thereafter, we start peeling back some layers of one. Couldn't bring Elizabeth Shue back. That was the end of that. Part 2. He's got the most absent-minded mom of all time. And to briefly circle back to Karate Kid 1, when I got deep into the middle to the back half of the movie, I honestly had to go, where's his mother? And then she just shows up at the tournament. I was like, oh, there she is. Okay, she's back. And then in this one, she just fucks off to like Reseda or something or Fresno or something. And, Miyagi starts building a shack for
Daniel-san
to live in. Thank goodness he was building that shack already. And then, before he's even able to move in and set up a bed, they got to go to Okinawa because his father's on his deathbed and they got to go. So we get a treat to what airports were like in the 80s, which is you can just walk up and the flight attendant can say, no, you're not coming. And Miyagi goes, yes, he is coming. The kid had a ticket already. What are you saying no to? He's at the gate of he's at the door of the plane. What are you saying no?
James, it was the 80s, man.
Anyway, it's fine. So they go to Japan. Spoiler alert, his father dies because, sure. And this age-old honor blood feud has to be dealt with, but Miyagi does not want to fight. But Sato does want to fight.
Yo, fuck Sato.
Sato's the worst. All until, a building collapses on him, and then he realizes, I've been wrong this whole time. And then Chosen is dead to him, of course, because Chosen was Sato's key #1 student of all time who bet poorly against how Daniel-san could break 6 blocks of ice. you think this movie is done after they like make up, and you're like, wow, there's hardly any karate in this movie. This is the weirdest Karate Kid Part 2. And I had to keep reminding Nithya that like she's like, oh, this is weird for Karate Kid 2. I'm like, no, it's Part 2. We just kept going. Because the timeline makes no sense either, but that's fine. And some like by the end of this one, he's like graduated in entering college. I'm like, I don't understand. Were you not just like a sophomore in high school? I don't understand how you just aged, but fine, whatever. Anyway, to the end of it so is there gonna be any sort of like karate fight? And then Chosen swings down a fucking lamp zip line and steals Daniel-san's new girl. Kumiko, thank you. Kumiko-chan, and puts a knife to her throat, and then, they fight after he removes the bridge, so no one can help him, because it's not the smallest channel to leap over, but that's fine.
Semantics, James. Semantics.
And then they fight to the death until, Daniel-san cannot kill, because he learned from Mr. Miyagi, so he doesn't kill him. But
just
anyway,
pulls on his nose.
Again, another movie where... another movie where it was like, where are we going to... We don't have time for this. Why is there always 5 minutes left in this movie and you start a full-blown fight? I don't understand. You had almost 2 hours of runtime and you waited till now to do any sort of like actual fighting or fight sequence. Okay, Karate Kid Part 2. Okay. Anyway, it was a fun trip to Japan. They had money to go to Japan, and I'm glad that they did. And it was a meh. It was fine.
I like Karate Kid too.
It was fine. I didn't hate it. Okay. It was good. Well, it's not as good as Karate Kid Part 1.
A few things are.
You just wait for Karate Kid 3.
All right, we'll come back around. I'll be back to you in a minute. Dave.
You did Karate Kid 3 too?
I did.
I love it. Oh.
Are you gonna do the remake?
I might, because I'm a sadist.
You gotta do it. You got
before Legends comes
before
out.
Legends, you definitely gotta do the remake.
I need to spoil this for you now.
Yeah.
There's also no karate in the Karate Kid remake.
Excellent.
It's kung fu.
Yes, of course. That's right. They changed martial arts style.
But they still call it karate.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Well, I don't even want to go. I just want to hear your thoughts on Karate Kid 3. But I will. Many. My worst. It's a movie we almost saw at TIFF a few years back. It's called Seven Veils. It's the new Adam Agoyan joint, which is finally coming to theaters. When I mean we were going to see it at TIFF, I mean TIFF 2023.
we had tickets for it.
Yeah,
we had tickets for it, and we exchanged it at the last minute.
Yeah. It was a good choice.
Yeah,
it was a good choice.
Well, clearly we're talking about the worst section. Yeah, it seems like
so. Adam Agoyan put on Salome, I think is what the opera is called.
That sounds right.
And he made
Salome.
Thank you, James. So he actually put on the opera, and he managed to make a narrative out of it as well. So he filmed the movie. So the movie is partially filming the opera,
right,
and partially like a Me Too narrative.
Oh,
because
okay.
Oh my God! Amanda Seyfried is brought in to kind of put on a new rendition of Salome.
Yeah,
and she had a relationship with the theater's or the opera company's director. So there's bad blood between her and the director's widow.
Okay,
so there's bad blood there. She had some shit happen to her as a kid that he kind of incorporated into his own version of Salome. And then at the same time, there's also something going on with the makeup artist. There's a lot going on in this movie, and there's not enough opera, and there's too many subplots. All of this to say, it's only watchable because Amanda Seyfried is fucking amazing in it. Wow. She's so good. You hang on everything she says, everything she does, even when it doesn't make a lick of sense, even when you're like, this subplot went nowhere. Right. Why is this here?
Right.
Like, I understand, like, kind of giving, like, the breadcrumbs, so you want to, like, follow along. Sure. You want to get invested in this character and her relationships and, like, the shit that happened to her as a kid. Sure. But then he doesn't really explain anything. It's just kind of there. And you're like, okay. all right. And then there's like the whole Me Too of it all. And I'm just like, Adam, sit down. This is not, that's not your story to tell.
Yeah.
Sit down. Like, I know he's TIFF royalty, and anything he makes is going to end up on Canada's top 10 or show up at the festival.
Sure.
But like, maybe we need maybe we need to say no.
Yeah.
Sometimes we should say no to Adam Malegaon.
Yeah.
Okay?
And this was one of those times.
And this is one of those times. But Amanda Seyfried, awesome. And I want to see more dramatic roles like this from her.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Nice.
Love it. Tone.
So, for my worst, I have a special treat for you guys
It
is arguably one of the worst movies ever made. And I was hopeful that I would see this movie in a new light when I saw it.
It's a bold statement, Cotton.
Let's see if it plays out. Let's see how it plays out.
Let's see. It definitely did not play out for me. I am talking about a classic movie starring Willem Dafoe as the villain. Opposite Jason Patric as the film's lead. And
I do love me some Jason Patric.
And his love interest is a little actress named Sandy Bullock.
Oh boy!
I am sure talking. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh no!
I am talking about Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Oh no!
So
the boat that couldn't slow down.
The boat that couldn't slow down.
Why was the option to go from bus to boat has always puzzled me.
It's not. It's like a luxury liner.
Yeah, okay, so why was the option to go from bus to ship?
So me and Melissa watched this show called Dr. Odyssey.
Yes,
it is the Joshua Jackson doctor show on a cruise.
Yes, naturally.
And when we were watching it, I made the joke, this ship can't go under 40 miles an hour or else it's going to blow, man.
Did they say 40 miles an hour? It should be knots.
Anyways, I said miles. It's a Family Guy reference.
Sure.
Anyways, she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, babe, have you not seen Speed 2? She's there's a sequel. I was like,
there shouldn't be.
I was like, yeah, it's on a cruise ship, and the ship can't slow down. She's like, we have to watch it.
Oh God!
So I was like,
I can just imagine Melissa actually saying this.
Yeah. So we started watching it, and like the opening scene's like pretty intense. Like Jason Patric's on a bike. They're trying to like catch a villain in a car chase. It really doesn't fucking matter. Sandra Bullock is having a drive test, and it's going horribly because she's an awful fucking driver.
Sure.
And she's just making all these mistakes, and all of a sudden
she drove that bus like it was no one's business.
Right? But she can't drive this little convertible. I don't understand.
You can drive a bus. You wouldn't drive a bus.
Anyways, and then it ends up like she finds out that like he's a part of the Suicide Squad, whatever the fuck.
The Suicide Squad.
The SWAT team, isn't it?
Yeah, but she says the Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Because it's a special. It's like a special unit that specializes in violent. It doesn't fucking matter. This movie, I had hope. I was like, you know what? Maybe it's not as bad as I remembered it being. Boys, it was 10 times worse.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I will preference
it tanked. John DeBont didn't made one other movie
and
after that.
And it makes me upset that this was the one that put him over because he was forced into this movie. He did not. If you look into the notes, he did not want to do this.
Like Keanu left. Keanu in the 90s turned it down.
Of course, and he was right to do that. I need to preference this by saying that Willem Dafoe is the most innocent in this movie. He is like an 18 out of 10 in this movie.
Well, yeah, because it's Willem Dafoe.
He's just like...
Have you ever seen a subpar Willem Dafoe performance?
I don't think it exists.
I don't think so.
You got to dig really deep. Probably anything he did with like April Ferreira.
Even that, he makes them more worth watching.
Yeah. Anyways, he'll just start talking, and then all of a sudden he'll just have this shit-eating grin on his face. It's like he was practicing like the who is he in Spider-Man?
Green Goblin.
Green Goblin. But what's his actual name? Osborn.
Norman Osborn.
It was like he was like practicing his Norman Osborn role before he even got it, because like you look at him in that movie and it's fucking Green Goblin.
Maybe that's what got him the role. Maybe Sam Raimi is a big cruise control fan.
Who the fuck knows? But yeah,
I love that for him.
Just so bad. It's like there's slow motion in it for the sake of slow motion. Like this woman, Melissa kept saying, "I'm getting Titanic vibes from this movie." I was like, "No, like come the fuck on!" Like, well, because like the ship stops and they're all evacuating and everything, and they're trying to get the lifeboats down, and the lifeboat like stops, so they're like
women and children only,
right? And they're like on like a 45-degree angle, and then all of a sudden Jason Patrick like goes on with a wire and like jumps on and like hooks it and everything, and then puts the ladder down so everybody, and they're like, "No one move," and then the one girl's like, my daughter's still on there, and she moves, baby. Right? Sure. She moves, and then two people fall off and then die, and then she says, "Oh my god!" And her husband's like, "It's not your fault. It's not your fault, bitch. No, it was your fault. They told you not to fucking move."
It came out the same year as Titanic.
It did.
What a great year for ships,
right?
Cruise ship's so hot right now.
But it was.
What about the leeches?
I don't understand. There's so much that you're just like, I don't understand.
You just have to accept it.
I don't get it. And like I was oddly like more interested in just following the deaf teenager, because like she just like runs away, and then all of a sudden she's in the elevator, but all hell's breaking loose and she's trapped in this elevator, and then she like basically like parkours her way out of the elevator and like just like finagles herself. I was like, this movie's more interesting. I want this movie. And I'm just like, why is no one caring about this child? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? They're like, we have to flood the ship. I'm like, what?
Yeah. What? I don't understand what you're not understanding.
Half the ship takes on water. It's like, oh, we got to slow down. It's like, how do we slow down? By taking in more water. It's like,
that's science, Tony.
Yeah,
physics, man.
Totally physics.
Physics, bitch.
Science, bitch.
Anyways, I had a blast watching it just because of Melissa's reactions were the greatest.
All right, fair.
I honestly just watch bad movies sometimes just to listen to her reactions, because her commentary is just hilarious. And she was blast to watch this with. Don't watch this movie. Fucking like kill it with fire. Like,
so it's been two birthdays in a row that I've spent with Mr. Willem Dafoe, and I need to add to my Willem Dafoe watches, because every year now on my birthday I'm gonna have to watch a Willem Dafoe movie, and if he doesn't put out one, I gotta go back to the well. So like obviously I gotta watch Antichrist. I mean, it's his best performance, but also Boondock Saints, and now Cruise Control.
Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Speed 2 Cruise Control is going on the list.
You need to watch Streets of Fire, my friend.
You have to watch Streets of Fire.
Fucking, you know what you need to watch again?
What?
To Live and Die in L.A.
Absolutely. These are also on the list.
Just watch Pasolini.
No.
I don't want to watch Pasolini.
Oh, you don't want to watch Pasolini. You watch Sallow, but you won't watch the biopic on him featuring Willem Dafoe as Pasolini.
Well, then maybe. That's tough.
It's
a masterpiece.
It's so tragic that Speed 2 is so bad, because like Speed is like one of my Desert Island movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's not on my like top 5 of any, like never would I put it on a top 5, but it is a Desert Island movie for me. I would watch that movie over and over and over again and not get bored.
Anytime something bad happened on screen, I'd always be like, fuck me.
Excellent.
But yeah, that's Speed 2 Cruise Control. I watched it so you don't have to. I revisited it so you don't have to. Just kill it with fire.
Thanks, Tom.
Take us home, James.
So the Karate Kid Part 3.
Did you watch them all back to back?
Sure did.
Oh my God. I am so upset that I didn't know about this, because I would have been on board.
Oh, then that means you saw Silver.
Sure did. I sure did. In all of his glory, sitting in a tub, smoking a cigar, while he tries to come up with how to destroy a man and a child. For some
It's Terry Silver, right?
Terry Silver.
It's Terry Silver.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that
Terry
guy.
Silver.
Just wait till you get to
Cobra Kai never dies, but fuck Terry Silver.
He takes it a little too literal.
A little bit too literal.
You know they all come back, right?
I know.
That's what I said. Wait till you see Cobra Kai.
I know.
That's where I stopped watching Cobra Kai, was when Terry Silver came, because I was like, I can't deal with Terry Silver again.
He's such a creepy piece of shit.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, you know, we again have to, for the first 15 minutes of the movie, we now have to rehash Karate Kid and Karate Kid Part 2 briefly, but mainly Karate Kid again, in case you forgot everything. Couldn't afford Elizabeth Shue, couldn't afford Kumiko, couldn't afford his mom. She's fucked off to somewhere else. Oh no, she's back in New Jersey looking after Uncle Louie because Uncle Louie's a major important plot character now, who's dying of like emphysema. So again, Mr. Miyagi has a ward, and his ward decided to not go to college and spend all of his money on buying a rundown shack for a bonsai shop. So that we can introduce girl number 3, the earthenware pot maker across the street, who has terrible taste in men.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. All of this to be like conned into going back to a fucking tournament to defend his title, being trained weirdly by Silver for some reason, and like having to fight Brendan, I think was his fucking stupid name.
You missed the part where it's like the next year, which doesn't make sense in the timeline.
And he gets 6 months after.
And he gets to, because he won last time, he just gets to go straight to the finals.
They changed the rules. You don't have to fight at all. You only have to fight in the final. Okay. That's not suspect at all. Miyagi, I was like on Team Miyagi the whole time. I'm like, yeah, just say no. What the fuck are you doing? Again, way late in the game. I don't know what the fuck this movie was trying to do. It's just so bad. Like,
it's awful.
It's the same. It's rehashing all of Karate Kid again with the same general villain. Fucking Kreese is off in fucking Tahiti getting fucking happy endings and fucking well
nothing wrong with that.
Well, Terry Silver's honestly, when Silver was like, you know what, you just go have a nice time in Tahiti. I'm gonna ruin these two people's lives for you, and then he's got businesses, and it's like the most caricature villain aspect ever. He's like, oh, you can't dump plutonium anywhere anymore. You can't. Whoever.
Wait. Plutonium?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And like, he's like, you can't, who's ever even heard of, I don't remember, a small country like Cambodia or something. I mean, you can't even dump toxic waste there anymore. I'm like, what cartoonish level villainry is this movie at this point? And he's like, you know what? Fine, forget it. He's like, to his secretary and butler, he's like, this is it. This is the last piece of paperwork I'm signing. From here on out, my number one job is revenge. I'm sorry, you're a multi-billionaire that has a huge company. You can't just put it aside to tackle Miyagi and Daniel-san for months.
Elon Musk.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But this was the 80s, Dave. This was the 80s.
You had to learn it from somewhere.
I guess.
I was just about to say, like, he's got to learn it from somewhere.
Anyway, this movie sucked so much.
Isn't there a bit where they're like planting the bonsai tree on the side of the hill or something, and it's in like an obscure spot, but they can't find it again or something?
Yeah, he brought one real bonsai or rare, and like he brought one bonsai over from Japan and hid it in like the crevice in like the Devil's Cauldron. And like it was around the scene, I think, that they do is that where they do the is it in 3 where they're on the? I just saw it, but they're blending together a little bit. Where they're doing like almost like the Tai Chi on like this huge vista over the water.
That sounds like the third one.
Yeah, because he tells him about the bonsai he bought over, and it's in the Devil's Cauldron, and then it cuts to them like on this mountain's precipice.
Oh yeah.
Doing this like main kama, I think it is for the karate, and then like kata, and then it like pans down to the Devil's Cauldron of where this bonsai is, and it's like, why did you put it here?
Don't they like? Isn't there a part where they like the rope breaks or something, or they're like hanging precariously from a mountain or something?
Yeah.
I just remember it being so fucking bad.
It's so bad. It's so boring. It's like I didn't want to see, like, I didn't need the scene where Daniel-san drives up to 21st Century Realty to get a business loan and fill out the paperwork to present to Mr. Miyagi over tea. Like,
and he doesn't even have a chemistry with the girl, and
he's got nothing.
And like nothing.
Nothing is going on in this movie. It is ridiculous.
Terry Silver.
He's the most cartoon villain. He's over the top. The whole reason, I guess, was to introduce Terry Silver, and it's there. It
killed the franchise.
Killed it. It took a reboot that also plummeted, and then a full TV show to even get any semblance of a...
The remake did really well, James.
Did it?
Yeah, the reboot with the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank did not do well.
Yeah.
But the remake did do very well.
Oh, did it?
It did.
Why? Jackie Chan,
I guess.
Jaden Smith.
Ew. No.
That's why it did well.
It shouldn't. It should never do well. That was also around the time where I needed Will Smith to stop putting his children in every fucking movie.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I mean, at least it was better than After Earth, I assume.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it was M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, well.
I still gotta watch After Earth.
Do you?
Do you?
Buddy, if I had time for Speed 2, Cruise
you have
Control...
time for After Earth.
You do have time for After Earth. You're right. You are right.
Maybe I'll find it on Tubi at 2 a.m.
Perfect. That's the only place I can do it. Actually, that might be Mubi only. Anyway, there you go. Karate Kids with 1, 2, and 3.
I'm so proud of you.
Down the line.
I'm so proud of you.
Set him up, knocked him down.
I'm so proud of you.
It was a good day.
I'm so proud of you.
Anyway, what's next?
Do you want to do... let's get spooky.
Ooh, okay.
Evil lurking deep inside, its darkness knows no limit. So listen closely if you dare. This is the Shudder Minute.
What do you got, buddy?
So...
Spooky!
Jesus.
Super spooks. I'm going to try and keep this to a minute. I have a little film that came out on Valentine's Day on our good favorite app called Shudder. Is called The Dead Thing.
The Dead Thing?
The Dead Thing. So a girl that is addicted to swiping right has a bunch of meaningless conquests. Yeah, it is swipe right.
Got it.
Yeah, I've never been on dating apps, but I'm pretty sure it's swiping right.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
I just have to remember which way was right.
Yeah. So she has
I
a bunch
matched
of
once.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, that's super cute.
She didn't answer.
Sad times. Anyway,
fuck you both,
dude. It's fine. Fuck, where was I? The Dead Thing. Anyway, swiping right. Meaningless conquests. Sure. She finds a guy she really likes. Guy has a really terrible secret, and
he's a dead thing.
I was literally about to say, spoiler alert, he's dead.
What the Lisa fucking Frankenstein is this shit?
Yeah, pretty much. This movie had its world premiere. I'm pretty sure it's world premiere or some sort of premiere at Fantasia, and it has Fantasia written all over it. I don't know how we missed this one, but we missed it, and it's basically a carbon copy of all the other shit that we've seen at Fantasia. Yeah, hour and a half. She just goes down the rabbit hole with this guy, and it just like the obsession just grows deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper.
Sure,
and it gets pretty fucked up, and then it kind of ends on a whimper.
Aw.
Yeah.
So is it a yay or a nay?
It's like if you find yourself awake at 2 a.m.
and Tubi's not giving you anything.
Tubi's not giving you anything, and you want to see something on Shudder, fucking throw this on.
All right.
It's not.
I hope they use that slogan as well.
so this is
when there's nothing on Tubi.
It's not quite the worst I've seen.
Okay.
It's not quite like the middle of the line.
Okay.
It's like right dab in the middle.
Okay.
There's some good moments in it. It's such a slow burner, and like there's some good cinematography in it. There's some good editing. There's some weird like kaleidoscope, lighting effects kind of thing. Weird manipulations of reality, that kind of thing. But the story, it's just missing something. And he's dead. Like the dead thing. Like she's in love with the dead guy.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
And like, there's a little side plot where the dead guy is just going and killing. Is just on the app, just matching with people just so he can kill them.
Oh, fun.
That doesn't really go anywhere. It has it for a moment, and then it just like kind of like just abandons the idea, and then just goes back to the main plot. But yeah, there's better out there. I've probably recommended better. So just go with those choices. Don't go with this one. Leave this one for like folding laundry, or like, you can't find anything on Tubi at 2 a.m. Yeah, The Dead Thing.
Nice.
Can we go back to why Tony's half topless?
No.
I'm actually gonna go full topless because I'm kind of really hot. It's hot as hell in your house.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't think it's that hot.
I'm just running hot. Yeah. The shirt's coming off.
That's lovely. This is hot. Yeah.
Oh, they're a nice little breeze.
You couldn't even wax for us?
No, au naturel. Au naturel. Dave, stop touching me.
Can hear it. He's like one of those sizzling hot plates at a restaurant.
All right, Dave, do you want to speed through screener time?
I do.
Let's do it.
It's screener time. The movie's not even out yet. You cannot watch it. We'll tell you if it's any good. Screener time.
Another 2 films we missed at TIFF.
Cool.
It seems to be a theme of screener time lately.
Yep.
Let's start with Superboys of Malegaon.
Superboys of Malegaon, yeah.
Which is a Hindi title. It's based on a true story. It's about some kids in the titular Malegaon.
Yeah.
Which we had to look up multiple times to make sure we pronounced properly.
Absolutely.
And it's the 90s, and the one guy works at a shitty theater where the only movies they're able to show are like old Buster Keaton things.
Oh, okay.
Video parlor.
Sure. Okay.
My apologies. And then they get in trouble because they ended up swaiting a movie together. And they realize in order to show stuff that people actually want to go see, maybe they should start making their own movies.
Interesting.
So they make a parody of Sholay.
Neat.
And they get really popular, and then they continue making movies, but then there's drama behind the scenes.
Okay.
And that's the movie. Coming of age. Lot of love for cinema, and all the best scenes are when they are filming.
Sure.
And I enjoyed watching it, and the first hour is so breezy and so much fun, and then the second hour is just kind of like a drag until the end, where it's super depressing for one reason or another, and it gets better there because the emotional crux of the movie is really wonderful there.
Right.
And I love the one character. But getting to that, the whole bit in the middle where there's a bunch of subplots that are just kind of there.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's based on a true story. It's just kind of like, I didn't really.
It distracts. Like, you can almost like lift it out, and like you wouldn't lose much. I think they've only had it in there because it was based on a true story, and you want to tell the story properly. But like what Dave said, when they were making the movie, it was so much fun. Like, I really like the beginning bit, like the first half an hour to 45 minutes, like them getting to the moment is really fun. The characters are all like, they have chemistry. They all work well together.
Right.
But it's really that middle section of the movie that just like, it like grinds to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
Right. And then to Dave's point about the end, like I was just like in awe because like the whole ending of like the last 10-15 minutes is all about like the love for cinema and how like cinema connects people together and how people like what cinema means to them, kind of thing, right? Because they were parodying Superman, weren't they?
Yeah, it's like a parody of Superman.
It's like a parody of Superman. You see like the wonder in the people's eyes of like when like, because like in that, and if it goes back to when Superman was the original Superman, when it came out, and Christopher Reeves, and like when he flew, and like all the kids are just like, this guy's just an ordinary guy and he's flying. Like, maybe I can fly too.
Yeah, of course.
And you see that same passion and the same vision in everyone's eyes in the movie, and it's just a really beautiful moment. Like, I kind of got choked up watching it. But yeah, it's just that middle section that just like it just doesn't
It's
work.
junk.
Yeah.
It's junk.
Unfortunate.
So the character I was talking about was Shafiq, who's played by Shashank Arora. He's very good.
Yeah.
He's very good, but I really like the lead guy. He's played by, his name in the movie is Nasir. He's played by Adarsh Gurav, who is
he was so well done.
He's really good, but he's also the lead in a movie called The White Tiger, which I believe you two have seen.
Yep.
Which is not a bad movie.
Nope.
I think it's an enjoyable movie, but he's fucking awesome in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I don't remember the movie being awesome, but he's fucking awesome.
He's fucking awesome.
He's great. I remember.
He commands every
that.
scene.
And he's really good in this as well.
Yeah.
He's really good in this. But yeah, that whole middle stuff is just a drag, and I didn't like that at all.
yeah.
Fair.
So, but it's still it's worth watching.
It's still a decent watch. I'm kind of sad I missed it at TIFF. I feel like I would have liked it a little bit, a little bit more at TIFF.
and
Just seeing it on the big screen.
yeah, for sure. And it's a Amazon Prime title, so it'll be on Prime shortly. Soon.
Yeah. Nice.
Soon. I believe it's in limited release right now. Another film in limited release is a Canadian Quebecois film called Shepherds or Burgers.
Okay.
Burgers.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is about it's based on a book. It actually might also be based on a true story.
Yeah.
It's about a guy who decides to just throw away his old life and become a shepherd in France.
Okay.
And just kind of his...
I didn't know that was still an occupation one could have, but here we are.
And it's just about him kind of learning how to be a shepherd.
Sure.
It goes to like his trials and tribulations of like becoming a shepherd. Like he marketed himself to say, "Hey man, I want to learn the trade. I want to be a shepherd." And all the veteran shepherds are everything, and they're like, "Have you ever done it before?" And he's like, "No." And they all laugh at him, and it's just like the one guy like takes him on and like shows him the ropes and stuff, and then like you see that he like goes through the motions, learns a few things,
Sure.
and then leaves that, and then becomes a shepherd himself. On like
It's kind of episodic.
it's very
Interesting.
episodic, right? But you're going through this guy's journey, and like his he has like a sweetheart, and then the sweetheart comes, and then he goes and lives with his sweetheart on the countryside doing some sheep.
Sure.
They're not doing sheep.
Not doing the sheep, but like being a
shepherding
shepherding the sheep.
Yeah, got it.
And there's a part with a wolf, and like
It doesn't shy away from like the darker stuff.
yeah,
Like it's it's actually shockingly violent in a couple of scenes.
Yeah.
And like some of the stuff, like these old school shepherds, they don't have time for the bullshit.
Yeah, no time for shenanigans.
No time for shenanigans. So
they gotta move the flock.
So like when it gets dark, it gets dark.
Nice.
But it's really beautifully shot. I thought it was gorgeously shot. I thought the acting was really good.
I really liked the lead. The lead was really, really good.
I really liked it. Tony compared it a lot to Vermilio, which we had seen a few weeks ago, and is like watching like paint dry.
Sure.
I didn't think this was like watching paint dry. I thought this was
It's a little bit
held
more.
your interest.
it held my
more,
interest. It's slow. It's a slow burn. It's methodical and it's very existential.
Sure.
But I enjoyed it. The lead's name is Felix Antoine Duval.
Nice.
He plays it like an everyman.
Okay.
He doesn't play it like any other. Like he plays it as if like like you're new to this and you're learning and you're trying to pick up.
Nice.
You're trying to pick up the trade, but also trying to make it your own kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like he's like the audience's gateway into shepherding.
Yeah.
Would be the best. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would say so. I say that's a great great
It's a good
description.
choice to make him someone that has no experience in shepherding, so that you can learn how to shepherd.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
you're like picking it up.
Yeah.
I still think shepherding is definitely not for me.
I mean, it's not for many people.
Exactly.
Yeah, it
again,
doesn't strike
did
me
not
as something that I want to do.
I didn't understand that I could have grown up to want to be a shepherd. I need to go back and talk to my younger self.
So you could be a shepherd?
Yes.
Well,
Lead me to my flock, let me tend to my sheep, or fuck them, in Tony's opinion. I'm not sure.
Not quite. Not quite. So this
taking animal husbandry literally.
so this was one of the Canada's top 10 films at TIFF.
Yeah.
And yeah, I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it more than Tony did.
Nice.
Yeah,
and
but it was still. I compared it to Vermiglio a little bit more than I should have.
I think so.
It's definitely a more accessible film.
Okay. That's fair, and that's a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to plant the seed now, and this will come up later. Not today, but in a later conversation.
Okay.
But he is the lead in a film called... I just had it on the tip of my tongue.
Oh, man.
Oh, my
He's
God.
Dropped the ball.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
He's the lead in a film called Saint Narcisse, which is directed by Bruce LaBruce.
Bruce LaBruce.
So remember this conversation.
We'll come back to this.
And remember Bruce LaBruce.
And remember us mentioning Bruce LaBruce.
We'll come back to this. We will come back to this.
Foreshadow.
Yes.
Anyways,
Onwards
to the main event.
to the main event. Let's talk about the BONG-HIVE.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Bong Joon-ho's triumphant follow-up to his Oscar-winning Parasite. We're here to talk about the one, the only, the 17th Mickey 17.
It finally fucking came out.
It finally came out. Yeah.
Came out.
6 years.
Shot 2 years ago. Finished 2 years ago.
It's been sitting on the
I'm
shelf.
pretty sure we've had it on our most anticipated
2 years running.
2
for a
years
while.
running,
Yeah.
man.
It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So we all finally we got to see it over this past weekend. It just came out. We were all very, very excited, of course.
Of course, we're all part of the BONG-HIVE.
And yes, and to give the sort of non-spoilery synopsis, Robert Pattinson plays the titular Mickey 17, also known as Mickey
Barnes.
1 or Mickey Barnes, who needs to flee Earth to avoid his large debts that he's accrued, and he joins the Expendables program. Not that Expendables, the Expendables program, where they get to make copies of his body anytime he dies and re-upload his memories, and they can make him do horribly, horribly mundane and dangerous shit
in the name of science.
in the name of science, or, you know, just life preservation, because they can always reprint a Mickey. They can't reprint someone else.
And they're trying to colonize a new planet.
Niflheim.
Niflheim, yes.
And the reason they're colonizing it with a hilariously over-the-top Mark Ruffalo and a adequately on top of where she always is, Toni Collette.
Yo, his fucking veneers, like, is the stuff of nightmares, man.
They bothered me.
Those for angry
especially
veneers.
when he
bothered me.
tries to close his mouth, or when he's like licking his teeth, or he's like
It's
just
there.
stop, Mark Ruffalo.
It's very, very obvious that he's trying to put on his best Donald Trump.
To some extent.
It's like
I also-
cartoonishly buffoonish.
But I also, yes, and I think so, but I also, Bong has come out and been like, there was no, this wasn't, the character was not written as that. And it's clear that Mark Ruffalo probably took some of that, but I also don't think
I don't blame it. I don't blame it on Bong. I don't blame it on
necessarily blame it on Mark Ruffalo. I think we've also just been so warped at this point that, like, anybody who's that over the top and has weird veneers and
it's just
and
like
it's
the
just capitalist
association.
immediately start associating
and is
that.
capitalist scum and is also
But we've just
a narcissist.
But this was
and-
also filmed years ago.
Yeah, but
So
Donald
it's
Trump
like-
still existed. It's not like Donald
Existed,
Trump
but
didn't
was-
suddenly become a thing in the last 2 years.
Sure. But it was just one of those things where, like, we were kind of in between, and now it's even more. I think the overlap is more easily identifiable now than it probably would have been maybe 2 years ago. It would have kind of been like, oh yeah, I guess it's kind of Donald Trumpish. But now it's like, wow, this is like everything he's ever done. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, he's putting
I
on a
don't know.
cartoonish
He's
performance.
putting on a cartoonish performance. It's
And
cranked to 11.
Ruffalo is better than that.
Yeah.
He's good. He's good because Ruffalo's always good. But
Committed.
he's committed. But he's better than this.
Yeah.
He's better than this, and I don't need him playing any more whiny, fucking jerky assholes because he did the same thing in Poor Things.
But I like.
Yeah, but he was
I
better.
did too.
He was better. in
I
Poor
did too,
Things.
but now we have this another cartoonish fucking asshole narcissist.
True.
It's like, okay,
Did
let's
he
go.
upset you, Dave? Did you not like him?
You said it perfectly. He's a buffoon,
Yeah.
He is a
cartoony buffoon.
Yeah. Which, I mean, again, now we're kind of talking about the movie, and thematically, like, Bong has always been great at blending a whole bunch of different tones.
And this isn't an original project. This is based on a novel.
It is based on a novel, but Bong is the sole writing credit on it. And even going back to Parasite, like, again, he's always been good at blending tone between goofy comedy, black humor, seriousness, action, like all of it, suspense. Like, he's very good. So,
did you like it?
Oh, where you just want to cut right to the jugular?
I want to cut right to the jugular.
Yes, I liked it.
You did?
Yes.
You liked it or you loved it?
I liked it.
Because I walked out of that movie thinking it was another movie you were going to hate.
No, I liked it. Genuinely liked it. I didn't love it. It's not Parasite. It's never going to be. What do you want me to throw you on now?
Thrill me. You liked it. I am actually, like, if I could, like, drop the mic and be shocked, I would.
Yeah. I don't know why you thought I would have hated this.
Because James, everything I see now, I'm just like, James is going to hate this. James is going to hate this.
That's not even close to true. I just spent the last part of this podcast exalting fucking Karate Kid.
That's because Karate Kid deserves to be exalted. Karate Kid 3 does not.
It does not.
Tell me more.
I genuinely liked this. So first of all, Robert Pattinson.
Would you buy the Steelbook?
Oh, I'd be on the fence.
Okay.
If it was a pretty good Steelbook, I would probably consider
I'll show you a picture of it after.
Thank you. Robert Pattinson's great in this.
Oh, no doubt.
There is no question here. He is incredible. He is playing two different versions of himself at multiple points during this movie with two distinct personalities and acting basically against each other, and it works really well.
Two different personalities and also two different mannerisms. They are two different,
complete distinct characters. Yes.
Two wildly different characters.
You totally thought they'd fuck, right?
Absolutely. It was getting there, and I was very. Also, this movie is horny as fuck.
Oh yes, horny. It's a very horny film,
including almost grief sex. And I was like, oh man, it's there's never a time until you have a grieving widow by your side. This. I genuinely liked it. Is it long? Yeah.
I would say so.
It is long, but everyone acting in it is so good at what they're doing. Mark Ruffalo aside. But even like Toni Collette, like I said as much in my review, but like Toni Collette is great, and also she's got very good points about sauces. She makes a good point. It's dealing with themes of like what it means to be human and alive and like distinct personalities and like reprinting someone, if that is anything. Like, if you are reprinted, are you the same person that you were before you died? Like, it's dealing with all that on top of dealing with a full sci-fi adventure to a new planet, on top of like animal cruelty, because I loved those things.
The creepers.
I wanted more of the creepers.
I want a stuffed toy.
They're so cute.
Or a Funko Pop.
Genuinely sad when they blew one of them to bits. It was upsetting.
Like fucking Paul Verhoeven style.
Yeah. Like he was not doing better than Peter Weller was at the start of RoboCop.
We skipped over a part because we were talking about dual roles and stuff.
Yes.
So Mickey 17 should have died, and then he doesn't.
He does not.
But they did reprint him, so there's a Mickey 18. So there are shenanigans that ensue between Mickey 17 and Mickey 18. So that's basically the crux of the two different performances, because you do see him narrating what happened to Mickey 1 through 16.
Which is great, and all of those bits are fun, including the bit where, and I think it was in the trailer, where his hand goes flying past the window is excellent. It's hilarious, and like that's what I mean. Like, there was multiple,
or when he's still alive and he's like, "It's all right, guys,
it's fine." Like Bong, this is what I was saying, like before you cut to the jugular.
Sorry.
Bong is great at blending humor into serious things, into big existential like questions, and like it for the most part, I think again, it's not Parasite, and I will preface that
we don't need like. Let's put Parasite on the fucking pedestal where it belongs.
It doesn't live up to that hype. It's not as clean. It's not as well blended tonally. It has tonal issues throughout it. It has underdeveloped characters, mainly Kai. I wanted to know so much more about the character
because she's
of
so
Kai.
fucking good in it.
She's
Naomi
so
Aki,
good.
she's amazing in it.
No, that's Nasha.
Oh, that's Nasha.
Kai
Sorry.
was Anna Maria.
Kai's the other one.
Yeah.
You're right. Anna Maria
Vartolome.
Okay, what is she in? Oh yeah, she's in Happening. I forgot. Okay, sorry. We'll get back to
Kai's
Kasha.
character is dropped in on there. She's again where I was mentioning the grief sex that almost occurs.
Right.
She's sort of the other. She's bisexual. She's got so much going on, and she like the scenes that she's in because especially she's included in the dinner scene that we'll get to at some point. I'm assuming. There's so much more that I wanted to know about her character, and it was just kind of like, oh, by the way, she's bisexual. She lost her partner, and she wants to jump Mickey 17's bones. That's it.
Have you looked at Robert Pattinson lately?
I
would too.
But I mean, there's so much more that could be there, and like isn't. Like she's basically gone from the rest of the movie. After that point, she's just fucks off.
Kind of, yeah.
And then just shows up at the end for a little hilarious gag, and that's sort of it.
Can we go back to Nasha then? Because Naomi Aki is the fucking MVP of the movie. Like, I love Pattinson, but Naomi Aki is fucking knocking them out of the park.
She holds it all together, yeah. She really does.
Like, I wanted more from her. Because she's great, and I wanted more.
Yeah. It focuses a lot on Robert Pattinson, and then a lot of time is also spent with Stephen Yeun, who's great, but unnecessarily an unnecessary addition to this movie, especially when it was like, okay,
he's just kind of there for conflict.
And to continue a plot that I don't care about. Like, yeah, they got off world. End of story. They got off world. I don't need the resolution of he found someone to come still collect this bounty, this big bad guy from Earth. Like, I don't care. Like, it was so unnecessary.
That's fair.
But to go back to your main question, and then, feel free to jump in from here, but like, I genuinely liked the movie. I had a good time watching it. I left feeling satisfied for the most part about what I had watched. It was a good movie. I liked it.
I'm not holding it against you. I when I got up, I assumed you hated it.
Absolutely not.
So color be surprised.
Yes, I can.
An assumption made an ass out of me.
Absolutely, it did, and may it continue to do so.
Well, fuck you. I love the first half of this movie.
Yeah,
up until this dinner scene you just mentioned. I love up until that, where you just kind of like you're seeing all the backstory, you're getting all the world building, all the weirdness of Pattinson's Buscemi-isms, because he's basically putting on a Buscemi performance.
Yeah.
Buscemi
Ray Liotta style thing with his voiceovers,
and I love the voiceover. I love that tone that they play with.
Yeah,
it's just right after that dinner scene, it just kind of like goes into overdrive on the whole like darker stuff and the capitalism stuff and the warmongering, and I just was not as into it, and it just kind of dragged itself out, and it felt like it was just getting weird for the sake of being weird. And then I literally watched Okja yesterday, which I had never seen.
I haven't either,
and I'd always wanted to see it. And it also has a Weasley Stephen Yeun.
Of course.
It's also very fucking weird, and it's also capitalism is bad, and it's also awful things happening to animals. So it's very much
class warfare, capitalism bad, cruelty to animals.
It's very much like a perfect pairing between the two because they're very thematically similar.
Yeah.
And just as you were talking, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that was also a thing in Mickey 17.
Right.
But they're kind of two sides of the same coin, and I just think they're very strange, and I know it's just because that's who Bong is.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because I keep comparing it to Parasite and Memories of a Murder.
Which is tough.
Or is it Memories of Murder or Memories of Murder?
Memories of Murder.
Which are incredible films. Like Memories of Murder, everything is incredible, but just him fucking running up and drop kicking that guy just lives in my head rent free.
And never forget Snowpiercer. Also,
I haven't seen Snowpiercer.
You haven't seen Snowpiercer?
I have not seen Snowpiercer. I wanted to.
Blind spots.
That's why I watched Okja.
Yeah,
because I wanted to watch that, and I was going to watch Snowpiercer, but I didn't get to it. And I think now that I keep thinking about it, I think it's because Song Kang-ho is not in Okja or Mickey 17. But he's in Memories of Murder and Parasite, and he's in Snowpiercer.
That's the secret.
And I think that's what it is. I genuinely think that that's what it is that he is the muse, most certainly the muse for Bong.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I don't like those movies nearly as much.
Fair enough.
They're well-made movies, and they're out there, and they are certainly fucking sci-fi originals.
Yeah.
Or science fiction.
This one's certifiably an original.
Hard sci-fi science fiction originals. When I say sci-fi original, I'm thinking of the fucking stupid TV channel. But hard science fiction.
Yeah.
And they're funny and weird.
Yeah.
And they're hard. They have a lot of emotional relevance. What the fuck word am I looking for? They're emotional and they play at your heartstrings, and the effects are pretty good.
Pretty, and especially Mickey 17, very good.
Yeah, like they're not
it's a whole new planet.
They're not the greatest fucking effects. Like some of it still looks shoddy, but it's pretty solid.
Yeah, Tony,
Mr. Tony,
did you like it?
I was kind of on the fence about it. I thought it was very uneven and inconsistent. At times, it felt very episodic. To me, dragged out a bunch. I feel like the whole movie hinges on Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson is really driving this one home, in my opinion. I feel like if it was a different actor, it wouldn't have worked as well. But because Pattinson can be a fucking chameleon and just like literally like mold to whatever story he's in. I feel like he does a good job. I don't like the comparisons between Trump and Mark Ruffalo. I hate that we as a society have gotten to the point where if you see an outlandish fucking dictator-esque person, it's automatically Trump. I feel like we need to get away from that as a society, but that's just my own feeling. There were good moments. There's moments where I laughed and moments where I'm just like, okay, this is stupid. I laughed out loud at the 32K camera joke.
Yeah.
That one got me. I will preference that.
Were you the ostrich?
I was the ostrich. I was the fucking ostrich at that point. I really liked the creepers. I feel like they should have leaned a little bit more into the creepers.
Sure.
But it would have been a different movie. I was also more interested in the multiple aspect as well. That storyline. They definitely had multiple plots going on at the same time, and I was just like, I don't like where the focus was. Like, I wanted them to focus a little bit more on the multiples. I thought the multiples would play a little bit more into the story. I felt like the creepers could have played a little bit more into the story because those were the juicier bits. Those were the ones that were more interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about them trying to colonize another planet. Like that is like, you can have that on in the background, but like the real story is just like they found these creatures and like Buddy can talk to them. Like that's more interesting to me. And then when spoiler alert, when they go out for the all-out war against them, like that was a really intense scene, and I really like that. But for me, like I feel like it was a lot of hype. Like he comes out with like Parasite, and then like, you know, like he gets all the accolades, he gets all the awards. He's like, Parasite is arguably one of the best movies of all time now, to some people in some circles.
Sure. Certainly one of the best of the last decade.
Definitely top 10, if not top 5 of the last
decade. I'd say.
No, I would say like 2000 to 2025. I would say
the 21st century.
Of the 21st century, I would put it in the top 5.
The last quarter century.
The last quarter century for sure. Parasite is near there. So there's a lot of
praise.
What's that?
That is high praise.
So there's a lot riding on this movie
for sure.
And for me, I think it misses the mark a little bit. I wanted a little bit more, but that was just me. But my big takeaway is it was very uneven, very inconsistent. Good bits, very highs, very lows, and a lot hinges on Robert Pattinson and his delivery. And for the love of Christ, I'm not saying it because I know Dave does not like Oscar talk, but if this movie is in the conversation at the end of the year, I just pray to God that they don't just like shoehorn Pattinson into a Best Actor campaign, because it's very much two different roles, and he should be recognized as Best Actor and Best Supporting Actor, because like Mickey 18 is very much a supporting performance and Mickey 17 is very much a lead acting performance. And he executes both of those like brilliantly.
Yep.
And
I'll tell you now, he's not going to get nominated in both categories.
I know he's not going to get bumped, but I
understand what you're saying.
I just hope that he's recognized as both, because he's very much both.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Also, when you guys are saying like not Trumpish, like they also have the whole cult of this character, and everybody's wearing red hats. Like it's a little hard not to tell me that this isn't a Trump.
Past it.
This isn't a Trump allegory or a Trump illusion when that's what they're doing.
There's an allegory to it for sure, but I think it also has to deal with most populist leaders that are currently popular all over the world at the moment. Like I don't think it's allegorical to one. It's just unfortunately one is the loudest. I think it deals with all elements of populism and like what a failure in populism would mean. Of like, I think the logical next step for any kind of leader like that would be like, well, let's leave the planet because I can start my own thing. But clearly he's just an idiot. I also, to Tony, to your point too, like it did feel a little bit uneven at points, especially the ending, which I do
not like the ending.
The ending was odd of just its structure. I'm not even talking about the content. I'm talking about the structure. I mean, they were wrapping things up as an ending does, but they wrapped everything up, then did a dream sequence.
Yeah, the dream sequence was weird.
Then wrapped it up again, and I was like,
the dream sequence almost takes you right out of it.
It does, because you're just looking at it like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck? Like, why is this here? It just,
like, I know it's there's thematic relevance to it, but it didn't. It was just there.
And that was I know from reading up on it that like he had final cut on this movie, but maybe not. Like maybe you should have taken a second set of opinions.
Well, there's always that, and he should have taken opinions on it, and they should have removed that part, or I know it's
rearranged it.
Way. That's a better way.
Just the way that it is, it's so, we were talking about the opening to the Oscars in one of our last episodes, and just like structurally it didn't make any sense to do this than this, and it was very much the same here. It's like structurally you wrapped everything up and then took me out of it for a second and then continued wrapping it up, and it's like, why? You were on it. You don't need to be weird for the sake of being weird. Like, you can just let things be normal. Like, you can have structure in the normal way. The rest of the movie has structure, so why fuck with just the ending? Yeah.
Can we talk about that dinner scene, Tony?
Yes.
But actually, Tony wants to say something before.
The only other thing that I was gonna say that felt oddly placed was the bit about the oxy and the pure form of oxy.
First added element,
right? It added an element, but you almost didn't need it. Like I did like the part. We've already said spoiler alerts, right?
We mentioned a fake spoiler alert.
Fine.
Okay, well, spoiler alerts, everybody. I did like the part where who's the girl again? Nasha and Mickey 18 do the oxy, and then there's that whole like weird like threesome scene.
Sure. I already mentioned if we thought they were gonna fuck.
Yeah. That scene, pure gold. Yeah. I love that. More of that. But like that. But then they dive deeper into Stephen Yeun and him like pedaling in and everything. You didn't need it. You didn't need it. Didn't need it at all.
No,
totally. Like,
it felt like
that's their only key to bring him back into the fold.
That's what I was going to say, but you didn't even need that because you already introduced him with the entire, like, this guy kind of set you up to take you down with fucking money laundering and shit, and now you're also adding that he's a drug dealer. Like, you didn't
we already knew he was a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's on the same ship as a pilot. All he had to do is just be taking out the trash. Like, you didn't need to add an extra layer of, like, he's selling pure, unfiltered, whatever the fuck it was. Yeah. Like, oxy, whatever the fuck. It was
a play on Oxycontin.
Yes, of course. But again, it's just Bong adding yet another thing. It's like, Oxycontin but some of that is bad. And it's like, yeah, okay, we get it, Bong. Like,
but some of that might have also been in the original novel. Possibly. We don't know that. We don't know that, but maybe he could have cut that out, or maybe he could have played with some of these things. But we're also saying what he couldn't have done.
Yeah,
he's Bong Joon-ho. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Exactly. So to your dinner scene,
that scene is fuck. Yeah, go.
The pigeon as a weird side character, just because he's the one that gives Mickey 17 the gift of dinner.
The dinner thing, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of weird for the sake of being weird.
Yeah.
I'm sure on a second watch it'll play out a little better because you'll see the structure a little better, and you won't just be like,
what the fuck is happening?
What the fuck?
Yeah. But anyway,
the dinner scene.
So he gets invited to dinner. There's basically a big prize because for the most of it, most of everybody on the ship is eating slop or rations of slop.
Yeah.
And the big prize, I guess it's monthly, I think, that they pick someone on the ship to go have dinner with Mark Ruffalo and Toni Collette's characters as it's going to be the best meal. Like you can order what you want, top sirloins and steaks and whatever, all the sauces, as we find out.
So much sauce.
So many sauces. And so Mickey 17, who probably should have been Mickey 18, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Mickey 17 gets invited to dinner. He's the big winner. They bring him up there, and his request was steak, I think. And they just hand him a raw piece of steak, and he's just going at it viscerally. For some reason. Again, weird for the sake of weird.
And then it's comically, and then it gets really comical, but it also gets very bleak, and it's very much trying to walk a very fine line, and it's definitely like the thesis of the movie.
Yeah,
and it's definitely like the scene, because like after that scene, I wasn't as on board as I was before it, but it's such a weird scene.
Yeah.
And it's shot weird, and it's chaotic, and it doesn't really fit with the rest of the movie. It just kind of feels like its own thing.
Yeah. I guess I genuinely liked it. I think because it was the most cohesive bit of this is one thing and this one thing is happening. And yeah, it's weird. It's got all these sort of like...
Well, it's the thesis statement of the film.
It's the whole thing going on at once. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I didn't mind it. It didn't take me out of it. I kind of enjoyed the chaos.
It's strange.
It's 100%.
It's very strange scene.
It's strange. And there's another chaos. Like, I feel like he always has like the chaotic centerpiece.
Yeah.
Because there's a chaotic centerpiece in Parasite.
Yeah.
There's a chaotic centerpiece in Okja. There's a chaotic centerpiece in Memories of a Murder.
Yeah.
Or Memories of Murder. I'm assuming there's a chaotic centerpiece in Snowpiercer involving the fucking train that can't slow down.
Bullet train control. Yeah, and it is weird. And like, you know, again, it does lean into that one scientist having a little bit more lines, and he becomes hilariously more and more off kilter with his absolutely deadpan delivery.
Yeah.
It's great. I actually thoroughly enjoyed that character's like complete deadpan of everything. It's like, yeah, we just, sorry, sir, like we gave him steak laced with human growth hormone. Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so fucking weird.
It is strange.
And like, oh yeah, let's test out Purple Joe and see what the fuck that does. Like, they're just experimenting on this guy as he's dying on the carpet. But again, coming back to...
is leaning into it.
Yeah, but again, coming back to Kai, who's in this fucking dinner
and there's some interesting things that happen with
and
her.
She's saying some interesting shit. And again, it all happens here and then never again.
And then never again. You're right.
You're right. There is that whole thing about like, you know, they're going to kill him to put him out of his misery, which again, now you have to start questioning, is that something? Is that anything at this point? Now that you know that there's two of them, what does that mean? And she's like, and Toni Collette's just like, well, not on the rug.
I did like that. I did like that. I like the rug bit.
It was chaotic.
But maybe that's what we needed. Maybe we needed less of Steven Yeun and more of
that.
The girl, Kai.
Kai. Yes. Kai should have been a more prominent second lead than dealing with the Steven Yeun of it all. Like, that entire prison sequence is just like, okay.
Yeah.
I guess.
There's that chainsaw is pretty fucking cool, though.
Chainsaw is cool. Is that just common technology that they have everywhere?
I assume so. I assume that's just what chainsaws look like in 150 or 25 years.
Yeah.
The movie just grinds to a screeching halt every time Steven Yeun comes on to screen.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you get him in the setup and everything, but then like it stops to put more into the plot of this character to justify his existence in the story. And it really doesn't work because like the entire movie you're just like, okay, when are they gonna kill this son of a bitch? Like, right?
Yeah.
Like that's all you really want.
Yeah. I don't know.
I love him as an actor, and he's a great actor, and he has some fun here, but
he's the same in almost every movie. Like, as he's just playing a little shit weasel. He's a shit weasel in Beef. He was a shit weasel here. He's a shit weasel in Burning.
He's not in Minari.
Not in Minari.
Okay, well, Minari's a different fucking movie, guys. Look at the movie.
You just said he's the same thing in every movie. He's not the same in Minari, and he's he's a different kind of shit weasel in Nope.
Yeah, a very different kind of shit weasel, but
and he's not
weasel nonetheless. I will give Tony that
he's not quite a shit weasel in Oakjaw either.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I don't disagree with your overall thesis statement here. Of like,
did you like Burning?
I still haven't seen it.
Okay.
I've seen the trailer, so it's a journey. So I know he's a journey.
It's a journey.
It is a true journey.
It is a slow burn journey to hell.
Yeah. But I don't disagree with your point there. To wrap up my thoughts on this, like, I liked it. There's so much that could have been done differently that would have made me love it. That would have
he just
really
needs to
from like to love.
It needed just that little bit of refine.
Yeah.
Like a little bit more fine tuning just to get the voice maybe cut out like maybe 15, 20 minutes. It didn't need to be 2 hours, 15 minutes. It didn't really need to be 2 hours and 15 minutes. Like, it could have been under 2 hours and you probably wouldn't have lost anything from the story.
Yeah.
He has a lot of ideas. He just needs to he just needed to focus it just a ball hair more. Just to push it over.
Love that ball hair.
Like, the ball hair just keeps coming back. Like, don't get me wrong. I did not like this movie, right? But I just wanted more.
You wanted more.
That's fair. More. That's fair. That's how I feel about it.
Completely agree.
That's exactly how I feel about it. I was just kind of, I wasn't let down, and I didn't dislike it. I just wanted to like it so much more than I did.
Yeah. I'm with you. And the only thing that I hope that doesn't come from this, and it's kind of an aside, but generally about this movie is like, this movie was not cheap to make, and I hope that Warner Brothers realizes that the investment is still worth it, because this is still, regardless of it being adapted on a novel, it is still a wholly original movie from anything else that I've ever seen, and it's important to keep making shit like this, regardless of how much it costs, because sometimes you need it to just kind of move things along and do something different and deliver an incredible Robert Pattinson performance.
Of course.
Is it going to make all of its money back? Probably the fuck not, but...
Yeah, but you say that, but then we also get Joker. Joker followed.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between letting...
And we're getting that new P.T. Anderson movie, too, which is apparently fucking bonkers.
Excellent. But there's a difference between letting fucking Todd Phillips make a Joker sequel that nobody fucking asked for. Not that nobody asked for, that nobody needed. And
everybody wanted the Joker sequel.
Nobody needed it.
Nobody wanted that Joker sequel.
Sure. But also, again, it was a sequel. This, not a sequel to anything. It's a completely different ballgame that I'm talking about of like, yeah. And also they spent way more money on fucking Joker than this.
It's a unique story from a unique voice.
Exactly.
And just giving him the means of telling a story.
Yeah.
If that's the kind of fuck you money that Sean Baker's going to get, I can't wait to see what Sean Baker's movie's going to look like.
I'm looking forward to
in space.
Right? I'm looking forward to whatever Bong does next, of course. But just wish.
I hope it's something smaller again. More. I really like the smaller stuff. I feel like
has more intimate.
And he needs to bring Song back. I want Song back.
Yeah. He's got your back.
Yeah, I hope so. I just want to give that guy a hug. I love that guy so much.
He needs a cuddle.
I want him to cuddle me, man.
You can be the little spoon.
I'll be little spoon for Song.
He'd be a gentle lover.
I'm sure he would.
There's a drug movie on Netflix with him in it as a drug lord, like a drug kingpin.
Oh no!
And I really want to see it.
No, like he has to be a good boy.
Yeah, he's definitely not a good boy in this one.
He's really good in what's that other one we saw? Broker.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good in that one too.
So, yay or nay recommend? Go rush out and see it in the theater. Wait till it's on VOD or otherwise, or don't even bother.
I think it's worth seeing. I don't even think it's worth seeing on Tuesday. I think you should go see it, especially if you like hard sci-fi. If you don't like hard sci-fi, then don't bother.
Yeah.
maybe you can watch it when it
getting,
comes. Know what you're getting into. Like you can watch it on when it comes out type thing. If you're not into hard sci-fi, but I would say the big caveat is you need to be into hard sci-fi.
Yeah. I'm on that same boat.
Like Okja is not as hard sci-fi, like it's sci-fi, but not as hard. This is hard sci-fi.
Yeah. And I'm on board with that recommend. I don't think you need to see it in any sort of premium format that it's out in. I
saw it in IMAX. It looked great in IMAX.
Yeah, but it wasn't filmed for IMAX, so it's not anything that you're missing.
No, you're not missing.
So I saw it in just regular, although again, Cineplex, you got to fix your fucking projectors, bro. It's getting real.
That's why I said it looked great in IMAX.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm on recommend. Tone?
I wouldn't rush. I wouldn't rush to the theater. If you're a loyal member of the BONG-HIVE, definitely go and see it. Support Bong for sure. But if you're
Tuesday,
I would hit it on a Tuesday. But like it, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth seeing on the big screen. Like there wasn't like that. There wasn't that many like grand moments that like warrant a theater experience.
Sounds pretty great.
Sound is pretty fucking great.
Yeah, but like you know what? Like,
I get what you're saying,
right? So I wouldn't rush to see it. It's still worth watching, but like paying like astronomical prices that fucking Cineplex charges.
Fair enough.
Probably not worth it.
Yeah, that's why I said a Tuesday. Get that cheap ticket.
Yeah, Tuesday for sure. Or if you're a Cineclub, then fucking do Cineclub.
Sure,
but do not pay full price.
No. Fair enough. That was good.
Yeah.
Thanks, fellas. Thanks, Mickey's 1, 2, and 3.
You're very welcome.
I had a blast. Do we have anything else to wrap up before we close out for the night?
Not yet. We have some stuff coming, but not yet.
All right. I'm very excited.
Let's just put an ellipsis on that.
Yeah, that's fine. We have a couple foreshadowing bits, so I'm excited to see what comes next. But until then, I shall remain Jimmy, and I'm always joined with
Big T Tony B.
Yeah, and
Dave, if you're nasty.
And we'll be back on a regular scheduled time slot in a couple weeks.
Guess I'll put my shirt back on.
Thanks, Stone.
Yeah.